No! Get the shit out of here! Everybody knows that LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga is an unmitigated classic. No, today we're going to be talking about a game that's far less celebrated, but just as good. LEGO fucking Batman. Let's get right into it. Oh boy, where do you start with a game like LEGO Batman the video game? Well, first I want to point out that the title is just a bit redundant. I mean, I know I'm playing LEGO Batman, and I'm fairly certain this is a video game, but after that, well, I guess we should give a bit of a background. The game was developed by Traveler's Tales and released in 2008, and I've gotta say, my personal history with Batman is heavily informed by this game. I played the DS version extensively, and before we really get into this, I want to point out some differences. The console version is missing a museum level in the hero story, a fight with Bane, a few of the characters, or the creepy laughter in the background of Arkham. Much of the level design is entirely different, but the story, for the most part, remains the same. And hey, that sounds like a good enough segue to me, let's talk about the story! So, one thing to quickly note, the whole no-kill rule that Batman normally has just doesn't exist in this game. Just look at this, he literally tears people to shreds. Fucking monstrous. LEGO Batman follows, as you might guess, a LEGO version of Batman. There are 3 episodes for Batman to traverse, with his good buddy Robin in tow. The first chapter, Riddler's Revenge, follows Batman's attempt to stop the Riddler from robbing the Gotham City gold reserves. The second, Power-Crazed Penguin, has Batman foil the Penguin's plan to take over the city with weird little robot penguins. And finally, Joker's Revenge shows how Batman ends the Joker's plot to spread his laughing gas over the city. Don't worry, that stuff isn't nearly as effective in this game as it is in a lot of the other media. All 3 of these stories are littered with references to the Batman comics and films, albeit with far less intensity than the source material. Here are a few examples of what I'm talking about. Of course, there's another layer to the story as well. After finishing a chapter as Batman, you can go through the same story from the villain's perspective as they set up the mess that Batman had to clean up. And then there's yet another layer where you get to play through every level again on a free play mode, using every character you've unlocked on the way to find even more collectibles, and literally doubling the length of the game. The story is told, for the most part, with short cutscenes. They don't feature any voice acting, instead relying entirely on the movements and the comedy to tell the tale. And damn if this game isn't funny. Just take a look at some of these, it's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. In addition to these, there are little blurbs on the loading screens for each level. As Batman, they tell you a character's background. And as the villains, well...
Gah. This is not funny. If we don't make it to Gotham Cathedral, this joke will never get its punchline. Hey, Mothman. What's the biggest moth in the world? A mammoth.
Oh, and real quick, this game is one of the laziest I've ever seen in the sound department. Nearly every sound effect is stock, albeit satisfying. And all of the music is taken from Danny Elfman's score for the Tim Burton films. Thankfully, it fits extremely well, even better than it does in the movie at times. Oh, and of course, the game continues the LEGO video game tradition of weird death sounds. So, let's talk about gameplay. First off, this game is really easy. If you want a reason for that, well, I guess, let's be honest here, most of Batman's foes are just kind of weak assholes in stupid costumes. They're kind of like Spider-Man villains in that way, you know? I mean, they look cool and all when you see them at first, but when you really break them down...
I and Dr. Octopus.
Guards! Stop him!
Yeah. The gameplay mostly revolves around short battles with the most basic fighting mechanics in the world. Seriously, it's just punches and kicks, and short puzzle sections to move past obstacles. There are a variety of outfits that add more abilities to the dynamic duo's obstacles, and there are plenty of collectibles hidden around each map. These collectibles include 10 mini-kits in each stage, which fit together to make these neat little statues, and also unlock a few, I guess, decent bonus levels. There are also the red bricks, which effectively unlock cheats, and money. Lots and lots of money. They're called studs, and every level contains a ton of them. Collect enough studs, and it fills up a true hero or supervillain meter. The studs are also used to buy characters and data logs, and if you're wondering where all the grit and darkness in the game is, well, it's in these logs. I'd also like to quickly mention that this game can be buggy at times. Like right here, I jump a bit and right through the wall. And I'm trapped. Every character has a different combination of abilities. Some are exclusive to only specific characters, and some are not. For example, a lot of the characters can do a double jump, but only the Joker can use his hand buzzer to power these generators. And let me call bullshit on that real quick. There's a data log that literally says that Batman can use an electrical shock to deter opponents, but he can't use it in the game. What is this shit?
And I smell a hell of a lot more bullshit where that comes from.
Clayface never transforms. The Scarecrow is not resistant to poisonous gases, even though, as he uses a fear toxin, he probably should be. Killer Croc is resistant to toxic waste, despite literally just being a normal person with a skin condition.
And where the hell is Superman?
The game's presentation is fairly interesting. It uses Lego to denote what objects can be interacted with, and allows everything else to be, I guess, vaguely realistic. It gives the game's style unique to the LEGO games, and one that I enjoy quite a lot. The game has an awful lot of personality in idle animations, in the cutscenes. Pretty much every inch of the game is just filled with interesting things to look at. Take a moment to just look at Riddler here. Like seriously, what even is this stride? There are a few other oddities in here as well. Anyway, some of the characters are fairly deep dives into the Batman mythos. Seriously, Killer Moth has a level dedicated to him, and I've literally never even seen him mentioned outside of these games. Between all this deep lore and references, I'm surprised there's no love for All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. What are you, dense? Are you retarded or something? Who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman. Okay, maybe that's for the best. LEGO Batman is one of the most enjoyable games that I've ever played. It might be riddled with bugs, incredibly shallow, and a very transparent attempt to sell toys, which it succeeded at, but I believe that a lot of love and care really did go into this game. It has spawned 2 sequels and a spin-off, most of which I'll likely review on this channel someday. I give LEGO Batman the video game a rating of 2 Clayface faces out of the goddamn Batman.